Guys, we're here to discuss the upcoming issues with the Hydra Clash, considering that Plarium confirmed that they are planning to buff the rewards for the Hydra Clash to emphasize the people to participate in the game mode. They're planning to add mythical skill tomes to the Hydra Clash. They're planning to increase the rewards all around and of course give us more primal quartz to be able to summon more primal shards, because at the moment it's just ridiculous. Now, Plarium failed us twice in a row and they completely missed the entire point of this. Us as a community, guys, we are tens of thousands of minds put together into one because we're constantly communicating. We're constantly discussing with each other and we are able to anticipate what's going to happen, right? Rather than giving everything to 5 people sitting at a desk being like, what should we do? Let's quickly nerf Amic Trunkard because that's gonna solve all the issues. Let's quickly kill the entire Corpulent Cadaver because we're not gonna have any other issues whatsoever. Now, we warned them from the very beginning. A lot of us as content creators, a lot of you guys as the community, don't completely kill the team. These teams need balancing, not complete nerf, not to kill them basically, you know? And what Plarium did, they nerfed Amic Trunkard. They completely killed the Corpulent Cadaver for clan boss, for everything else, and guess what? As we told them, Tranda is reigning in and Tranda is wrecking everything. Now, if you guys remember a while ago, we had a Hydra Clash event, right, with different creators, and everybody banned Acrisia, but they left Tranda in, you know, and I managed to pick Tranda for my team, for example, and this is not new. This is actually going way back than this. We've seen it in the first couple of months when they added Hydra, how Tranda can actually interact with Hydra in general, you know, and how you may see on this little thumbnail right here, turn 16, 40 million damage. Now, Tranda always had a bit of a weird interaction with Hydra when you have decapitated heads, because her A2 will just splash so much damage that is just crazy, okay? And everybody always said that this is a bug, is a bug, is a bug. Plarium confirmed that multiple times. It's not a bug, it's intended to work like this. So this brings me to the next problem, man. And yes, they completely nerfed Corpulent Cadaver instead of finding a solution of how to balance the team to deal probably 1 to 2 billion damage and do the same for Tranda teams, which now deal 20 times more damage than any other team in the game. So again, we're back to square one. Again, we have those issues. And what's going to happen next? They're going to nerf Tranda as well, just because Wumeko is broken in this case. Now, unlike the Corpulent Cadaver team, with Tranda and without the Wumekos, you're not going to be able to achieve these astronomical results, okay? So here, the main issue that this team is Wumeko constantly resetting each other. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to squeeze probably 1 billion damage on a lower difficulty without having this thing with Wumeko constantly resetting each other, but this is not balanced either, you know, and we're having this issue because we're constantly going back to square one. Instead of Plarium fixing the issue, finding a balance for these teams, and this was included in the very first discussion. We've told them from the very beginning, before Hydra Clash was even released, Tranda is going to be a problem. These teams are going to be a problem, mainly because the multipliers on hard are so high compared to Nightmare, I would say, you know, that is kind of like making most of the people to want to do this on lower difficulties. And this is not even the problem. The multipliers are not actually the problem, how we actually thought that it will be, because these teams deal so much damage that no matter what multipliers you give them, they will just burst out everything. And it might not work on the highest difficulties, but it does work on Brutal, for example, and I'm going to show you in just a second. So this is a regular team on Hydra Nightmare. This is a very impressive result right here with 1 billion damage. No Acrisias, right? Is wow. Even if you're bringing Acrisias, you're not really going to go way over this. You can probably reach, I don't know, I would say 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 billion damage with Acrisias and all these Void Legendaries and other stuff like that, which is very hard to achieve already. It requires a lot of precision to know exactly what you're doing. And then you're going to these teams, which Again, they do require a lot of precision. They do require you to know what you're doing. But look at the result. Like, this is not that crazy, 5 billion. But look at this, 21 billion again. So it's 20x the result of a team with other champions. And I know this is on hard, but if you're bringing enemy max HP on hard, you're going to achieve pretty much less damage than the 1 billion because they hit for way less than that, you know. So it's going to make quite a bit of a difference. Then if we're actually quickly going to check different ones, this is Hydra Brutal, 8 billion already. So it's completely eclipsing any other team in the game. And was the same issue we had with the Corpulent Cadaver. I just wish that Plarium would have listened to the community here, because how I mentioned, for tens of thousands of minds thinking ahead what's going to happen, and they only have 5 people sitting at a desk like this. Nerf Amic, you know? So unfortunately, this is still going to be a massive, massive issue. So how I always say it, if a team like this deals 8 billion on hard, it's gonna deal half on brutal. Then it's gonna deal half on nightmare. So if this team will deal 4+ billion on nightmare with tuning or God knows what it needs, it's still gonna eclipse any other team in the game 4 times by, 5 times by. And this is at the very beginning. Corpulent Cadaver was the same. In the first week was not that insane. Then 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later, the score quadrupled. Okay, so expect to see more insane stuff in the next few weeks. This is a Hydra Nightmare team. No Acrisias, no Grazur, no Mishinaki, and is almost 1 billion damage. Taras, Cupidus, Tuhanarak, Krisk, Cardial, Venus. Pretty solid damage too, considering that you don't have the Acrisias, which everybody was blaming to be the most OP. Yes, you can deal fast damage with Acrisias. It's easier to reach 700-800 million with Acrisias, but once you wanna pass that damage, it's so much harder. And you do have different options. Acrisia was not the most busted champion in the game, how everybody made it sound, you know. And look at this, Hydra Brutal, 13 billion. Callus, this is the weirdest freaking screenshot ever with Tomb of Nazareth here, just to give them a shout out, but god damn it, you know. 13 billion damage, pretty impressive. And the main thing is that this will make a lot of people to invest in the champions, will make a lot of people to basically just wishlist Tranda to get the soul, will make them go crazy, and it's gonna get nerfed again. And the main thing is, what are they going to nerf? Because I'm always against nerfs. I want rebalancing. I want things to be fixed, man, where you can actually use the champions. Like, I would have loved to still have the Corpulent Cadaver team and deal 1 billion damage with fine-tuning 1.5 billion damage on Nightmare, you know? But you need to put in the work. Of course, not to deal a ridiculous amount of 20, 30, 40 billion damage, because that was just like, come on, dude, you know? And I would like to see the same for Trandas. I would like to see the same for Acrisias. I would like to see the same from Grazur, because what that does, it creates a balance to the game where you have multiple options, where you're not stuck with one option to be the meta, like you're playing Call of Duty and only one assault rifle is good and everybody's using that. And it's such a boring meta, it's such a boring way to play the games, you know? So I hope that they are planning to revisit that, to fix it, you know? So right here in this current Hydra Clash, IPR is winning this, and they use quite a few Tranda keys. We used a couple of Tranda keys. I haven't stressed, I just came from my holiday. I don't have double Yumeko anyway, so I cannot replicate this team. I can do probably 1+ billion, 2+ billion on the lower difficulties with Tranda without having the double Yumeko, but it's gonna be something very hard to replicate, you know, without the Yumekos. Now, when we had the Corpulent Cadaver team as an idea, there were a lot of different options in there. A lot of champions could have been replaced and still get some damage. So the main issue right here is going to be, are they going to nerf the double Yumeko constantly resetting each other? Are they going to nerf Tranda? How many other champions will get nerfed before they actually understand that we need rebalancing in the game instead of completely trashing champions? Amic Trunkheart got nerfed for what? For Corpulent Cadaver. Just so 2 months later they come to nerf Corpulent Cadaver, and Amic Trunkheart is still nerfed, useless with the A1 at the moment, which is a shame because it could have been useful for Arena for his own kit. Not broken, but useful. So, what's the next step, Plarium? When are you actually going to start listening to the community feedback when we are talking about teams? Because we are tens of thousands of minds, and even though we are not game designers, we don't necessarily, at least I don't necessarily think that we always know better than your developers and stuff. I do feel that should be a middle ground where your developers acknowledge when they F up and will be like, okay, we can reverse the Amic Trunkheart nerf because that was pointless. We can actually buff back the Corpulent Cadaver a little bit because this is too harsh, the damage that you guys dealt. Maybe put a cap on a, I don't know, 1.5 million damage per hit with the A1. That would be something as well, you know? So we need a bit of a rebalance here. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think as well? Especially that they are planning to buff the Hydra Clash rewards. And I know a lot of people will get a slap in the face because they're investing in all these teams that are constantly getting killed and you're not getting your resources back, you know? So that's my main point right here. More rebalancing and not just destroying things in the game. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.